Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Performance E Streaming. It's Thursday night. That means only one thing. Yes, we are back on the air with more ANZCAR action. The X-Finity series wraps up here tonight at Michigan International Speedway. I am returning this week after a brief hiatus away. Carl Wilkinson with you up here in the booth, joined by my stalwart commentator, Mark Johansson. Mark, how you going, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. What a way to end the season on a nice big 2-mile racetrack at Michigan. Going to be exciting. Numbers are down a little tonight, but nevertheless, I am sure we are going to see some great racing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Expect to see some close battling. The championship is pretty much decided, and it is that man on screen at the moment, Andrew Dyson, taking the championship spoils. But the battle for second place behind is absolutely on at the moment between Jason Martin and Barry Neal. So who will get second place? Let's look at the starting grid for tonight's race. Taking pole position and an all-important bonus point, Jason Martin ahead of Andrew Dyson. On row number 2 is JCW, Joshua Carroll-Walden, with Barry Neal. Row 3 we've got Ryan Jones and Shane Bowen. On row 4 is Stevie Dubb and Alexander Sheridan. Row number 5 we've got Brad Finley and Mr. Matty Hunter out on track tonight, not having to worry about the comms and the broadcast. On row number 6 is Ruben Phelps with Dave Douglas. On row 7 it's Matty Ray with Gary Wellman. And rounding out the field we've got Adam Ariel out there tonight.
I'm expecting some moves there from Matty Ray tonight. He doesn't always get a chance to run on the Thursday night, but tonight he's made it in, and he'll sit back and definitely try and help out his teammate Ruben Phelps in the 06 to get up and try and maybe pinch a third position in the championship.
Yeah, it's stacked against Ruben tonight to get that third in the championship, but it is still possible. So it's got to be a very, very tough race in that respect. It's going to be very much getting in the right position at the right time and being in the right spot for everybody else as well. That's going to be the hard part, is he needs a lot of other people to struggle tonight, and those other people are Barry Neal and Jason Martin, who don't often have bad nights.
No, but as you said, Carl, Jason's done the right thing. He's gone out there and taken pole. But I'm just wondering how we'll see Barry run this race. He normally likes the low line here, but with this heat, that's going to really hurt the tyres, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I think the high line is going to be one of the trickier lines tonight. The low line's going to have some temperature in it, but we'll see how this unfolds. Green flag is about to drop for this round 12 of the season. It's the final race of the X-Finity series of 2024, and away they go. I'm going to shut up so we can enjoy these cars roar around the track here at Michigan. And we're already seeing some free wide action throughout the field, but up front there is a few changes of positions. Andrew Dyson's taken the lead of the race ahead of Barry Neal, who's just got past Jason Martin. Battling it down in the mid-pack is pretty fierce at the moment. Lots of side-by-side action. Shane Bowen and Stevie Dubb here battling it out for 4th, 6th and 7th, just behind Ryan Jones in 5th.
The two Cobalt cars up there running nose to tail, trying to get something working, but they've got Jones in front of them, and that is a hard task to try and get past Jones on any racetrack. He's a real hard charger, and one that doesn't mind doing a little bit of rubbing either. In front of him, we can see JCW there having a good run. Missed him a lot this season, but nevertheless, he's out there tonight. And as you said, Barry Neal now out there in second place, but JCW are really giving him a hurry up there.
Yeah, we've seen Jason Martin drop down the pack a bit. He's dropped down to 6th position. So I reckon Jason Martin is very much doing the tyre saving strategy here. Maybe a little bit of fuel saving too. Michigan can be quite hard on the tyres, and there is usually a fairly big difference between fresh and used tyres. A lot of people taking the midline at the moment, and that seems to be the favoured one. A couple of people jotting down low, seeing what they can make work in this race.
Just see there in the background, Ruben Phelps jump back up into that high line. And Brad Fenley up there in the high line. There's only 1 or 2 cars that are trying that low line, and as we say that, Ruben's now back down on that low line.
Yeah, a fair bit of chop and changing. Everybody's sort of trying to decide what their best line is going to be, and I think probably the best line is going to be the one where you're leading the race, where you've got some fresh air in front of you. That's going to make a bit of an effect here tonight as you get further down the pack. You get more and more air on the car, less and less chances to run the line that you want, and that can really affect your overall race pace.
Martin now, as they're coming down the back straight, he jumped up into that high line, but now he's come back down onto that low line. Guys is now starting to drift down onto that low line a little bit more, but it's pretty much nose to tail. We had Dave Douglas there go through wide with Martin and Finley, but Douglas now having a hard charge. He doesn't want to sit back there. He's definitely want to get out to the front and put a spoiler on everything.
Absolutely, and Dave Douglas, of course, wanting to finish the season off strong with another victory here tonight if he can make it happen. So I'm sure he is very hungry for that, as we see this absolute glut of cars. Everybody behind Barry Neal really tucked up at the moment. There is not much gap separating the field apart from the leader, Andrew Dyson, who is loving that fresh air, loving that clean air, and has built up a 2.5 second gap over the rest of the field. We'll see if he can continue that pace in the race, or if he starts to drop off a little bit with some tyre wear. As we see the car spreading out a little bit, Ryan Jones taking a much higher line here at the moment than the rest of the pack. Barry Neal down a bit lower with JCW in the middle. You can see Jason Martin hugging the bottom line here as well. So there's a few different thought processes going on here tonight, and everybody's trying to find that perfect line to make work. And you can see there, Barry Neal just driving a little bit defensively there, just keeping himself in the middle of the track. So nobody can really get a bit of a run on him.
Yeah, it's going to be a big ask to go around the outside of Neal there. He's just got that perfect line. That car is just nice and settled through the mid turn. There's no push coming out, and there's definitely no push going into the turn. So he's definitely got that car sorted tonight, looking after the tyres. But we can see here 2 combatants that we know that are always going to put on a show, Ryan Jones and JCW. But just looking a little bit further back, those Cobalt cars are still almost joined at the hips, and I believe that is Stevie Williams now up into the top end of the race.
We just saw there Adam Ariel just giving the wall a bit of a clip on the exit. Fairly big dent on the front of the 515, unfortunately. So hopefully he's not too stricken with that one. And I've not been able to race too much this season, so it's nice to see him on track, but never nice to see him clip in the wall and dropping out of the pack like that. He's lost about 2 seconds that lap, so fairly big error, unfortunately. An easy mistake to make here at Michigan. Those walls come in very, very quickly.
Yeah, unfortunately, Adam's another one that work keeps him away from midweek racing. He actually flies in, I believe it's into the Northern Territory, and he works on some ranches or cattle stations. So unfortunately, he's fly in and fly out, and when he can, he definitely gets out here and races.
Yeah, Adam Air will bring it into the lane. Unfortunately, I think his car is really struggling. One car that's not struggling is this man. It's the 41 DPR entry. It's Andrew Dyson, who has got a healthy almost 3-second lead over Barry Neal and the rest of the pack. Everybody close together here, all the way down to Brad Fenley and Matt Hunter, just bringing up the rear of the pack. Less than a couple of seconds separating this whole group of cars. They are really racing each other hard, and Jason Martin still keeping that very low line, which will just deter some drivers in front of them. They'll just be watching him down there and making sure he doesn't get a run. They'll have to change their lineup a little bit if he does.
Yeah, just looking at the timing chart, Carl, Martin is still one of the quickest cars out there. His last lap was a 41.3, and the only other person down there is Andrew Dyson. He's also done a 41.3. Everyone else is around the 41.5, 41.6. So yeah, that low line is definitely working for Martin, but just can't get the run that he needs.
Just going back here to see Ryan Jones, who just got a little bit too high there. Just gave the wall a little bit of a rub and then just pinged off it slightly. Lost him a lot of momentum, and that's dropped Ryan Jones down the pack a little bit. Just a small mistake like that can be really costly when the racing is this close.
%, correct, Carl. That really takes momentum off you. Just looking there, Gary Wellman very sideways. Great save by Wellman there. The pilot of the 45 Green Machine, very sideways coming out of turns 3 and 4 on that last lap.
Massive save there from Wellman. Brilliant job of keeping that car in the right direction. Great job from everybody else as well not to collect him too, because it's so easy just to tag a car when it's going sideways like that and unsettle it and cause it to become a big proper wreck.
%, correct. You only just need to touch someone like that, and that'll see both cars in a nice little wreck. Ruben Phelps has done a great job now. He's moved himself up. Ryan Jones has recovered a little bit now, starting to move forward again.
Dave Douglas just taking a little bit too much through the triangle D-shaped section there, just giving the grass a little bit of a clip there. The Dave Douglas lawn mowing services are back in action tonight. Dave's just trying something a little bit different now. It just did not work for him. So he's going to get himself back in line and get himself back settled in and see what he can do in this pack of cars, which really is just absolutely nose to tail throughout the field. As I said, Dyson 3 seconds up ahead, leading this race. Almost speaks of the championship, doesn't it? Dyson running away with it while the rest of the pack are so close. One little mistake can cost you a good fair few positions.
Yeah, 100%, and the battle still looming towards the end of this race, as we see Barry Neal drop down. Just going to say, the battle is now really between Neal and Martin for second and third. Ruben Phelps is in there, but he definitely needs to get out in front of these of Neal and Martin to have any chance of taking third position away.
Yeah, he's got about 22 points to make up on Neil and Martin does Ruben Phelps. So not looking too likely, especially with a smaller field size as well. That really charts chances, because the worst place that Jason Martin can finish is, currently it's 14th position, as it looks like we've lost Adam Ariel from the race. So that really makes it hard to close in on the championship pack, and that sort of makes it a very tough job for Ruben Phelps. Big shout out, of course, to SRM, who's been having a stellar season this year, taking home championships. Ruben Phelps taking home a truck championship, the X-Finity championship. Truck championship, sorry, while Lachlan Urquhart took out the X-Finity championship over in the E-Series. And Matty Ray, of course, having some good success in the early season in some trucks with the Aussie Outlaws / Warriors.
Yeah, 100%. Just looking at Martin and Neil now, they're Martin's been able to get up alongside JCW, and looks like he's maybe coming into third position. So that battle between Neil and Martin is going to heat up here. We can see Martin's done some a little bit of tyre saving and fuel saving. This is about where we see him normally start to look at moving forward, and that's exactly what he's done here again tonight.
Yeah, Jason's done a great job of tyre saving, and you can see he's just got such good pace, gets underneath Barry Neal, and he's going to make the pass here. Martin absolutely flying now, and I think this is what we were seeing from Jason Martin. He was just saving those tyres, just keeping everything nice and cool and ready for this stage of the race. If we had a caution, it wouldn't have paid off, but he knew we were going to probably have a nice long green flag period, and he is taking advantage of that now.
Well, you can see there just behind Barry Neal, Ryan Jones now up onto the quarter, draws alongside, now moves in front of Neal. So Jones is not holding back now either. He's had that little incident with the outside wall, and we can see him now back up in the third place. Stevie Dubb there in fifth place, looking at trying to make a move on Neal also.
So yeah, they are starting to get a bit of a wiggle on now, and those drivers that were sort of just holding back a little bit, not quite pushing to the front, definitely saved something, be it a little bit of extra fuel, but also just a little bit of extra, couple of extra millimetres on that tyre, and that is paying dividends now as we get a nice long green flag period here at Michigan.
We just seen there further back on that last lap, a couple of guys, cars in that back mid pack starting to get a little bit loose in the rear end. We have seen these cars really start to break loose once they get a little bit light on fuel, and that those rear tyres heat up.
Yeah, heat is going to be an issue here tonight, Mark, with that track temperature.
Yeah, definitely, and we can see there JCW is really falling down through that pack at the moment. He's now down into 8th position, 9th position, as I say that. So making that hard run at the start has really hurt those tyres. Dave Douglas sitting back there just in front. We can see Matty Ray on the outside having a great run. Really sticking that high line tonight.
Yeah, they would have done. I'm sure some of these drivers have been practicing and trying to work out what's going to be the best way to run this race, and it's all coming together now for those drivers that have a little bit of a game plan throughout the field. And we're seeing some great racing here, plenty of 2 to 3 wide action on track, Mark, and again, it's not always the size of the field but the quality that makes up for that, and we are seeing some quality racing here at Michigan.
Yeah, 100%. We and I've said this before tonight, Carl, too. We've seen a great truck series at to start the season, the year off, and the X-Finity cars have definitely been no slouch either. Even though they are the people looking at them at the lesser of the of its big brother, the Cup car. I know that there's some people that really enjoy the closeness of racing that you do get here in the X-Finity.
Yeah, it's been a hard 12 weeks up here in the commentary booth, Mark, because I've been watching these going, I'd much rather be out there racing. Because these X-Finity cars are absolute mega things to drive. I never get enough time to drive them, unfortunately, so always leaves me miserable.
I think we may have to start a league up and just on a non-broadcast night, so we can just have a drive, Carl.
Yeah, but whenever we try that, then things go wrong. Anyway, up in front, Andrew Dyson still leading, but the gap is coming down. 2.8 seconds between Martin and Dyson right here. Ryan Jones sat in third position. Barry Neal fourth, with Stevie Dubb in fifth position. Then it is the flying Kiwi, Ruben Phelps, just sitting in behind at the moment and trying to come up. Shane Bowen as well, just sitting outside the top 7 too. Good run for the Cobalt Racing team, Cobalt entries. They've been doing a lot of practice, a lot of work on the oval side of things, and have been coming on so very, very strong.
100% correct. Shane's really had some great results, and like most motorsport, and even in real life, he's had some hard luck stories too. Just been involved in some incidents this season that haven't really been his fault, just been in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, that is often the hardest thing to have work your way, is being in the right place at the right time, especially on an oval. That can really, really be important. One of those things that comes with a bit of experience, as well as knowing when things are not looking right on the oval, and just keeping a little bit of an extra gap, or keeping yourself in a position where you can escape in those incidents. And I'm sure that's going to be something that Shane Bowen is going to be learning very, very quickly, and he is starting to put more and more into practice of just keeping himself sort of relatively safe in those incidents that aren't necessarily your fault.
Yeah, look, I'm expecting him to have a great Cup season in 2 weeks when we move over to the Cup cars at Daytona for the opening round of the Cups. But again, we're going to another nice big track, and it's a little bit of luck has to be on your side there at Daytona.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those tracks where sometimes it can be better being lucky than being good, because you can really get some situations that have some huge consequences, especially those big accidents where you really can't do anything to avoid them. So it is a track that can sometimes be a pessimist's nightmare, but Dave Douglas, big slide out the corner there. But there is also some excellent results there, and who doesn't want to get a victory at Daytona?
Too true. Just watching the battle here between Matty Ray and Shane Bowen. Great run for Matty Ray. Oh, Phelps a little bit sideways there out of turn 4. Bowen's just been able to stay there.
Sorry, Mark, we've got 4 wide action back here. There's a 3 wide battle going on that just turned 4 wide for the briefest of moments between Carol Walden, Douglas and Wellman, with Alexander Sheridan there. This battle has been absolutely crazy. They were 3 wide for a good lap and a half there, and 4 wide for the briefest of seconds. Let's jump back up to the Matty Ray, Shane Bowen little action here.
Yeah, the Ford, the Mustang of Bowen has just got that inside lane, as we can see, and just able to pull back around the mid corner. Matty Ray's can run in a little bit harder, but mid corner, you can see there Bowen able to close back up on the Phelps. Now we see a change for I thought Bowen may have stayed on the outside.
No, they are battling very hard there, and I was about to say we can probably just say that the Ford is just the better car in that little battle pack there, and the rightful car is leading the group in the Toyota. So. I think Mark has actually left his broadcasting station, is coming over to beat me with a stick. So we'll see how this turns out. Hopefully he has a microphone with him, otherwise we're going to have a lot of dead air.
No, it's all good. It's good to see a good mix with Toyotas, Chevs and Fords in there now. Definitely different strengths, different tracks for even though it is only minor. Someone's heading to the pits. I believe that's Jones in pit lane.
Yeah, Dave Douglas just pulled it into the lane. He's exiting now. Now Ryan Jones is pulling it to the pit lane. So this is going to be interesting to see who can make the stint length work. We saw Jason Martin dropping right back, and that could well have been some major fuel saving as well as tyre life preservation, because looks like when you're going flat out, only about 33 laps.
Yeah, so that definitely looks like it'll be a 3-lap two-stop race. 3-stop race. I'll have to take my shoes and socks off.
Yeah, that's it.
Sorry, I do believe I just see Martin in the pit lane.
Yeah, so Martin didn't save any fuel in that run. We saw him just dropping back a little bit to possibly do that. One person that has saved some fuel, though, is the leader, Andrew Dyson. And if they can get extra to lap 35, they can make it on 2 stops. So that's going to be sort of one of those crucial little things, I think. If they can actually wean out a couple of extra laps here and there, they can cut it down to a 2-stopper rather than a 3-stopper. Some drivers might be in with a bit of trouble if they do need 3 stops.
Yes, definitely right. Neil's in as I said. So now we're really starting to see guys down pit lane.
See Martin re-emerging just behind Andrew Dyson. So it's all starting to unfold here, and the strategies are going to start to play out too. Now, of course, those drivers that have come in will have nice fresh tyres, and that is going to help them bring their lap down times down by a good couple of seconds. Dyson into the lane. Ruben Phelps. Oh, that was a dramatic entry into the lane. Did he get it pulled up in time, or will he see a black flag in his near future?
I'm not seeing anything pop up. So it looks like he has been able to get that car slowed down as he now pulls in his pit box. Right side tyres. Left side tyres. Phelps is on the way again. Nice quick stop there for Phelps. Only 15.1 seconds in the box. So a fairly quick stop there for Phelps. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely a good turnaround indeed. How long can Stevie Dub, Maddie Hunter hold it out? They have been on track, and a bit of a close moment there from one of the Cobalt Racing entries. Just had a bit more closing speed than they expected. I think that was Alexander Sheridan just getting a little bit close to Stevie Dub, who looks like he may be bringing it into the lane now. No? Yes, yeah, there he is, bringing it into the lane now. Can Maddie Hunter stay out for another lap? He is. Maddie Hunter leading the race here at Michigan and extending his stint nicely.
And I hate to say this, but the man in the green machine, Gary Wellman, has a black flag. So he's in his pit box and he's sitting there. So I would say it's a stop-go, probably a 40-second stop-go penalty.
painful indeed. We've got some racing on track as Dyson, Jones and Martin with Dave Douglas all close together. The first of those drivers to take those stops, of course, Jones and Douglas. So they are on slightly older tyres, but not by much. But they have managed to really close in on Dyson's lead and get themselves up into the front of this race on strategy. Our leader, Matty Hunter, still out there. Almost 40 laps into this stint. A great extension and decent amount of fuel saving done here by Matty Hunter to get himself this long into the race. Can he go an extra lap here? Looking like it is the case for the 48 as well. So really doing a good job on the fuel saving from Matty Hunter. This could really help his race if he can reduce himself to... It's not going to be... I don't think he'll be able to go just one stop, but he will have less time stationary. He'll have a bit less fuel to take on, and he could find himself getting a lucky caution as well. So this could really prove fruitful for Matty Hunter.
100% correct, but what he doesn't want right now is a caution. Well, maybe he does. That'll put him back up into the mix. But I'd say if we did see a caution, and he goes around again. So some great fuel saving.
Yeah, he's got about 19 seconds over Dyson. Well, if caution came out now, it would work out very well for Matty Hunter because he would have the freshest boots out there and be on the lead lap still. He should just about be on the lead lap when all the pit stops shake out. But he's just hoping that he can extend this stint and then extend the next one maybe and see what he can get out of this race. As it looks like the 48 is bringing it into the lane this time around. Almost 42 laps of fuel on that car. We better check Matty Hunter, make sure he isn't running an extra fuel line behind his back. So that will put Dyson back up into the lead. Second place at the moment is Ryan Jones with Jason Martin. So these two are trying to close the gap on Dyson and keep it closed. That's going to be the hard thing to do tonight. A little bit further back, the battle for 6th, 7th and 8th between Phelps, Bowen and Carroll Walden. Alexander Sheridan inside the top 10, sitting in 9th position. Matty Ray in 10th with Stevie Dubb just behind him. It's Brad Fenley in 12th position. Matty Hunter in 13th spot, still on the lead lap crucially, so that is good news for him, and he's got a nice clean air to take advantage of those nice fresh boots. And then a lap down, unfortunately, is Gary Wellman, who had to serve a penalty.
Now what Matty needs to do is just settle himself into a rhythm, work for some numbers and to stay on that lead lap and hope for a caution. And that will definitely bring him right back into the mix of this race.
I think he doesn't want to see that caution fly until a lot of the leaders have made their pit stops and tracked themselves a lap down. I think that would be the best option. Yeah, it's just seeing what he can do with that extension and see if he can get close to the end on fuel and what he does. Dave Douglas power sliding out the corner. So was Barry Neal there. Real sketchy on the rear there for those drivers as they take it free wide for a brief moment. It's Jones, Martin and Neal here battling it out in Michigan here for the ANZCAR X-Finity Series. It's the Thursday Night Thunder final round of 2024 for the X-Finity Series. We'll be heading off to the Cup car next.
So if the race finished right now, Martin would remain in second place. Jump to second place, and Neil would drop down to third. And unfortunately for Mr. Phelps, he won't have enough points to steal that third place away in the championship.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough for that third place in the championship. But second place is very much on between Neil and Martin. And Martin, of course, getting that bonus point earlier on was very important because that will help out with the championship battle. As there's only 1 point between himself and Neil, so every little point could really be crucial here tonight for that second place.
100%, and don't forget a bonus point for leading the race too. So definitely some bonus points will come into play tonight. And it's good to see Martin up in that top echelon like Neil.
Yeah, it's been a good championship fight this season through the pack, but the championship leader, who is leading this race by a good 3 seconds, has had a, well, almost, you wouldn't say easy run, but he has had a very successful run this season, taking wins at the majority of the races, and that really has just jumped him out into that championship lead and given him that championship in the X-Finity cars, which I am sure he'll be pretty happy about indeed. But he wants to top it off tonight with a race victory as well, and that's going to be the icing on the cake for him tonight.
100%, and really he has been the man to beat this season in the X-Finities. As you said, several race wins and just been perfect in most ways through this series this year.
Got a battle going on here, 6th and 7th, between Phelps and Bowen, and the fight is on throughout the field, and it's trying to get that all-important finish to your season as well. For everybody throughout the field tonight, they all want to have a couple of those championship positions and go, no, that was a good season, I finished inside the top 5, top 10, whatever your goal may be. So they're all wanting to get those extra points just to help that out.
This battle now up front between Martin and Neil is starting to heat up. Neil's starting to close back in on Martin, and unfortunately for Jones, he's just started to drop off those other two cars.
We're watching at the moment Ruben Phelps, Bowen and Douglas, and Ruben Phelps doing a great move to get underneath both Douglas and Bowen and move himself up into 5th as Douglas slides it out the corner, and we're seeing some good battles on track at the moment throughout the field. The top 10 are really fighting it out for positions.
Again, like we've said, it's a hard one to keep an eye on because there's battles right throughout the field. Some great battles.
Yeah, we're seeing plenty of action throughout the pack at the moment, as now Shane Bowen and Ruben Phelps is Dave Douglas gets it all wrong out the corner. The back end of the number 10 stepping out big time and losing Douglas a whole heap of positions.
It's unfortunate for him because he's worked hard to get up to the front and just seen a puff of smoke there.
Ryan Jones into the pit lane. So Ryan Jones coming in for his second stop, will be needing to make a third stop with this, with the way the race is remaining.
So that was just a regular stop for Jones, 4 tyres and fuel. So, yeah, he's pushing a little bit hard maybe, or he's definitely trying for that undercut.
Yeah, trying for that undercut. I think he is... he's set himself into the 3-stop strategy. I think a lot of drivers are trying for a 2-stopper as well, so that could play out differently as well. So we'll see how this strategy unfolds, as we have got 47 laps remaining in this race. We're just over half race distance here tonight, and it is Andrew Dyson in the lead with Jason Martin, Barry Neal, Shane Bowen and Ruben Phelps. That's our top 5 at the moment.
Yeah, and unfortunately we now have 2 cars a lap down. That's Ryan Jones from that last pit stop, but you can see on screen he's definitely closing in on the race leader, Andrew Dyson, and as I say that, he moves to the inside to get his lap back. The other car that's a lap down is Gary Wellman after driving serving a drive-through, and unfortunately we've lost Adam Ariel, the pilot of the 515, from the race after a heavy knock into the outside wall early in the race.
Shane Bowen making the move on Ruben Phelps and moving himself up into 4th position as they continue to thunder around here at Michigan. And I wonder how long these drivers will leave it, knowing that they probably need to make another stop after this one just to get home. How long do they leave it? Do they just try and keep it out for as long as possible, or do they pull it in and take advantage of those fresh tyres and use the undercut? Plenty of strategies at play here.
Yeah, it's a hard one to answer, because there's benefits of trying the undercut, and then there's benefits of staying out there and running long. But the other thing too is who will react to the drivers around them and the drivers that they're racing. This is a great battle between Phelps and Bowen.
Absolutely nose to tail there between the 2 cars. Really racing each other hard here tonight, and racing each other well. And this is the battle for 5th and 4th position, so it could well be a podium if given how things play out tonight, of course. So you've really got to take advantage of that, and I think Ruben Phelps is really doing that at the moment, trying his best to unsettle Bowen and get his way up past him. Same lap old tyres, those two, so there's no advantage or disadvantage. It's just pure racing at the moment between the 06 and the 308.
I know we've said it, but we've really seen Bowen come on this year, coming across from circuit racing, really picking up on the oval side of things. When he first come across, you could see that he was a little bit intimidated by some of these guys, but right now at the end of this X-Finity series, he ain't intimidated by anyone anymore. He's definitely now up in that top 10 constantly.
He's definitely earned himself that position as well, and built up a lot of trust between other drivers too, and that's always crucial as you go on. When you first come into any series, there's always that little bit of who's this, who's that, how do they race, feeling and mentality. But Shane Bowen has proven himself now, and people know how to race Shane and how close they can race, and that is very close indeed. So good to see that settling in too.
We just see now a little bit of a gap. I'm just wondering if Phelps is starting to just feel the heat through those tyres and just looking at backing off and just getting some those tyre temps down, and then having another charge before he comes in for service number 2.
Yeah, he's definitely had a little bit more tail action these last few laps as Ruben Phelps, so maybe just a little bit too much heat in the rears at the moment, and that car not quite as planted as the 308 in front of him. A little bit further up the pack, Martin and Neil are separated by not much at all, but they're happy keeping with each other, trying to close in on this 2.8 second gap. Andrew Dyson has the lead of the race. So as we head into lap 62 here tonight in Michigan, the race has fallen into a fairly steady pace now and a decent rhythm throughout there for everybody. Drivers, still we've got 13 cars on the lead lap. The only car lap down at the moment is this man Gary Wellman, unfortunately. Ryan Jones, about a 10-second gap to Matty Hunter at the moment. He's trying to close that down a little bit and see if he can make this strategy pay off. Matty Hunter, of course, went very, very long in the first stint, and he's trying to see if he can work anything out with the strategy tonight to leapfrog himself up the order. So very much driving to a set time, I'd say, is Matty Hunter, not go pushing too hard or too fast.
Yeah, it's another person that we don't see out on the track a lot, but you know, he is starting to do a little bit more oval racing. He's started to do a little bit of some GT3 racing too. So it's good to see Matty Hunter back out there and turning laps instead of behind the screen pushing buttons.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to see him on the track and having a good race here tonight. Hopefully his strategy can pay off and we can see him jumping up the order a little bit. The battle for second is still very much there. You just get the feeling that Barry Neal is not pushing too hard behind Jason Martin. They're just happy to be closing in the gap as Jason Martin pulls the trigger. Martin into the lane for his pit stop.
So good news, he's been able to get in that car pulled up before he hit that commitment line, and now he's into his pit box, 4 tyres I would say, and top up with fuel. So nice easy entry for him.
Absolutely, and well, he is probably going to have to make another stop unless he does a bit of saving, because he's only made it about 30 laps into the stint. So so far we've seen some 30 lap stints happening throughout the field, so Jason Martin might have to just ease off this stint just to get it home across the line without having to stop one more time.
definitely going to be close because I think he got 32 laps, 33 laps out of that first tank. So it's definitely going to be close.
We can see the battle for third has started to heat up a little bit here. Stevie Dubb closing in on Bowen and Phelps as well. Sheridan into the lane, same for Joshua Carroll Walden. So we're starting to see a lot of drivers coming in for what should be just about their final stint. So they should be able to make it home pretty much from now as leader Andrew Dyson pulls the pin. I'm sure if somebody offered the flag to be flown now, Barry Neal would not refuse that offer as he leads the race here, but will have to come down the lane shortly. But Barry Neal in the lead of the race, getting himself a bonus point crucially as well, as we come towards the final stages of tonight's race and action here at Michigan.
So Dyson's now come out just behind Martin. So Martin will have 2 or 3 laps where he'll be a little bit quicker until those tyres on Dyson's cars come up to temperature.
Yeah, this will be a good little battle on the track. Jason Martin taking advantage of the undercut here and leapfrogging himself ahead of Andrew Dyson as we're on lap 69. Reuben Phelps currently leads the race with Matty Ray, Dave Douglas, Brad Fenley pulling it into the lane, and Matty Hunter, who's probably done the longest stint tonight by a fair margin. He's going to try and extend this one and see what can work out for him as this race continues.
Just update, Dyson has now got past Martin, so it's battle on again.
Absolutely, and gotta say, Dyson's had some excellent pace here tonight. Definitely been one of the fastest cars on track in race trim. Of course, we saw Martin taking the pole position, so there's a lot to play for here tonight, and they are all wanting to finish off their season strong with a victory if possible.
So we've still got 3 cars out there to take their second service. It's for Reuben Phelps, as I say that, he's now in the pit lane, I believe. Dave Douglas and Matty Hunter.
Yeah, Dave Douglas extending his stint here. He's on 41. Oh, that's not what you want to do, Dave. Big slide out the corner as those rear tyres just turned to mush on him. I was about to say he is trying to equal Matty Hunter's stint length here with 42 laps. Can he do that, or will he pull it into the lane with those, I've got to say, rather warm rear tyres? No, he is going to extend it here. And just say to Matty Hunter, look, I can extend my stints as well. But he will have to come in the lane very, very shortly, will Dave Douglas. And I glanced away from a second from this battle as Ryan Jones was up ahead of Dyson, but Ryan Jones taking advantage of the undercut with those tyres, but now it's not really paying off as he is falling down the order at a vast rate of knots and unable to fight the likes of Dyson or Martin. And Dave Douglas does indeed bring it in. 43 laps he managed that stint. So he gets the longest stint of the night award. Can Matty Hunter do a couple of extra laps better than that, I wonder? Because he's back up in the lead of this race by 4.3 seconds as Matty Hunter stays it out on this stint and sees what he can do. Caution right about now, I think, would really suit Matty Hunter's strategy.
100%. Nice little caution. But in saying that too, I would say that there'll be a lot of guys dive down, just throw a little bit of extra fuel in the car, and maybe take that last set of tyres that they have there. So yeah, you definitely don't want to be caught out, because we have seen these races where we've been green, right at the last minute, a caution come out and see us go into overtime.
All it takes is the slightest mistake and you'll find yourself in an overtime situation as Andrew Dyson closing the gap on the lead at the moment. He is coming in and seeing what he can do as we ride on board with the 41 I should say. As we see that gap visibly closing up ahead as Dyson chases down Matty Hunter here and sees what he can do as this race continues on. We are getting towards the end of the race and the end of the season as well. Speaking of drivers on the move, Double D, Dave Douglas, just set the fastest lap of the race. He is flying out there trying to close the gap on Brad Fenley at the moment and seeing what he can do as well. Oh, bit of a moment there for Ryan Jones as he just catches the wall and back end steps out on him on a strategy that's not really paying off at the moment. He's going to hope he can make it to the end on that strategy, but he's going to have to really just push that little bit to get there. He's got to save a lot of fuel to get to the end of this race. So we'll have to see what happens there. Matty Hunter, meanwhile, has just been passed for the lead of the race. Andrew Dyson back up into the lead here at Michigan. As we see the 48 pull it in to the lane, 38 laps into that stint. Matty Hunter's decided it's time to bring it into the lane and do his final stop of the race. We are expecting to see possibly Jason Martin, Ryan Jones needing to make another stop here tonight. It's going to be a bit close for some drivers for sure. So there could well be a couple of drivers just really having to be extra frugal, I should say, and drive that car like they are paying for the fuel. As we see Matty Hunter exiting the lane, he is just about to go a lap down to this man Andrew Dyson, but he should be able to get back up and past on those much fresher tyres, use them to his advantage and just keep himself on the lead lap tonight, which could prove to be very useful indeed if we get a late caution. Jason Martin sitting in second place with Barry Neal, trying his best to get that second place in the championship, but just not having the pace on Martin tonight. Stevie Dubb, the veteran of the ANZCAR series, there in fourth position, battling it out with one of the newer faces in the series, Shane Bowen, for fourth and fifth. Matty Ray out there in sixth position, just ahead of Ruben Phelps, just getting past Ryan Jones in eighth position. Joshua Carroll-Walden charging down Jonesy now in ninth spot, and then rounding out the top 10 is Alexander Sheridan in the 555 sitting in 10th.
Hi Carl, I've been doing some arithmetic-y.
I thought I heard some pain.
If the race finishes the way it is, it definitely, we know Andrew Dyson will take the championship, but Martin will come home second by 1 point. If Neil can manage to get past Martin, they will be tied for second place.
Yeah, those bonus points will prove absolutely crucial there. So it's still very much on, but you got to say Martin's just had the pace over Barry Neal. I think Barry will be possibly hoping for a caution later in this race to give him that little bit of time back to close on Martin and possibly get that position. .41 still in the lead, a sight that we have seen a couple of times this season. Andrew Dyson having a cracking year and, a cracking few seasons now. One of those faces that used to be new to the ANZCAR series a few years back. Some brash road racer coming onto the oval side, seeing what he could do. And, well, it turns out he can do an awful lot. Absolutely proving himself to be one of the best oval racers in Australia and New Zealand area, and really one of the faster guys worldwide as well. Jason Martin still sitting in second position with Barry Neal behind him, and that's going to be the crucial fight in this race, is whether Barry Neal can get past Martin and if he can just get that extra point that he needs for that championship. Stevie Dubb there in fourth position, battling it out with Shane Bowen as well. Bowen on a bit of a charge as well, doing really well in this stint in the 308.
And again, we've said it. We've spoken about Bowen. He's really come on in the X-Finity cars. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do in the Cup cars because they are a tough thing to get your head around.
Yeah, very different challenge coming up in a few weeks' time. So we look forward to facing that one and seeing a bit of excitement drummed up for the Cup car coming back, because nobody's really racing it at the moment. So I think a lot of people are looking forward to jumping back into that car for a bit of racing, and also just to show off their lovely paint jobs. So I know that's been the comments of a couple of drivers. They're just annoyed because nobody runs the Cup anymore, so they can't show off their beautiful paint jobs.
Yes, unfortunately, it's a tough car to handle. I'm just watching this gap between Martin and Neil. Last time by it was down to 1.2 second gap. Now it's again back, just blown out to 1.3, and now it's back to 1.2. So Neil just doesn't have the pace to close that gap. So it really is going to be interesting. There is a question mark over Martin's fuel. Will he need to come back down pit lanes or is he going to risk it? Again, as we say, that the gap now as they pass the strike is down to 1.2. So it's going to be a tough one, Carl.
Yeah, absolutely. It's as you say, Jason Martin could be just that little bit shy on fuel, and if that's the case, that could be incredibly painful for him. So we'll see how that unfolds, and well, really, it's going to be interesting to see what people can do. We currently got Ryan Jones out there, 37 laps into this stint. The longest stint we've seen so far tonight, I think, is 44 laps. So definitely can't really make it home, can he? That we can think of, unless he has been doing some incredible fuel saving in that car.
I'm just riding on board with Martin. It's a hard one. It's he is like letting the car run through the mid corner, picking up the throttle up now, but not heavily. He's not really not pushing that car, so I think he is trying to save a little bit of fuel. Just riding on board with Neil now. He's definitely picking up the throttle a little bit earlier than Martin. He's also running a little bit deeper into the turn on the gas.
And Neil will be pretty happy and pretty much able to make it home without too much trouble. So just depending on really just driving style there. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do, as Ryan Jones makes it 39 laps into that stint, and the free stopper has not paid off tonight for the number 11, who is in the lane, as the 41 remains in the lead with 9 laps to go here. Make that 8.
Just looking a little bit further back, it's still a battle royale between Bowen and Williams there for 4th and 5th. Bowen definitely has not let up on Williams, and you can see there the line difference through the turns. Oh, as we watch, Bowen just touches the outside wall.
Curse of the cameras there, jumping back to watch the action. and as you say, Shane Bowen giving that wall a little bit of a nerf and a bit of a rub there. That is not going to help his race for 4th position. So that will be, we'll keep an eye on it still, but I think that may be that. Jason Martin still sits in 2nd place, 7 laps to go, and he is about 30 laps into this stint, so it's a little bit sketchy for Jason. He should be able to make it home on fuel. We've seen quite a few people save that much, but so far his stints have only been about 30 laps old, so he might just be a tiny bit shy on the fuel to get home. So we'll keep an eye on this one, and hopefully we will see the cars making it and strategy is playing off. I'm sure for Jason Martin fans, that's what they're thinking. For the Barry Neal fans and our Kiwis in the audience, they'll be thinking, yeah, let's hope that Jason doesn't quite make it home. Battle for 10th place back here between Fenley and Douglas as they continue to fight here in the closing stages of tonight's race, and they're going to see what they can do. Dave Douglas taking the shortest line across the midfield there as possible. We've seen him do that a few times tonight, and it's not paying off that time because he's just got up heavily into the wall. Big hit for the number 10, and that could well have cost Dave Douglas 10th position in this race. So the main battle keeping an eye on now is this for 4th position. Bowen and Williams, which driver will get themselves 4th? Who will come home 5th? That is probably the closest action on track at the moment. Second closest is the battle of teammates between Ruben Phelps and Matty Ray at the moment for 6th and 7th position. And as the Thunder series starts to round up here with these final few laps, the Thunder in Adelaide starts to roar across the skies. So if I suddenly drop out, I do apologise about that one, but we have got a bit of a storm hitting us. Meanwhile, up in front, it is Dyson still in the lead. We'll jump back to him next lap. But it is this battle for 4th place that is really on at the moment. Who will take 4th and 5th? We'll find out very shortly as they come around for the final few laps here. As the white flag flies here tonight, as Andrew Dyson is on his final rotation for the 2024 Thunder Series. The X-Finity's wrapping up, and should be no other man winning it tonight than our series champion, yes, Andrew Dyson, looking to take victory here tonight along with his championship too. As he comes up to the line, we'll see the flag flying. The checkered flag will come out very soon, as it is Andrew Dyson taking victory here tonight. Second place will be Jason Martin with Barry Neal in 3rd. Shane Bowen comes home 4th, just ahead of Stevie Dubb, and Ruben Phelps will bring it home in 6th position with Maddie Ray 7th. 8th for JCW, 9th for Sheridan, as he crosses the line. And Brad Fenley rounding out the top 10 here tonight. 11th position, battled to the line. It goes to Maddie Hunter, just getting up ahead of Dave Douglas. Ryan Jones almost catching them at the very end of this race, but unfortunately for him, not the right strategy. But it is this man, Andrew Dyson, taking victory here tonight and doing it in style with a championship under his belt.
I do expect, excuse me, Mr. Dyson to pop this motor here tonight.
Well, it would be unkind not to, wouldn't it, really?
It would be.
As we keep an eye in the background there, as Dyson continues to enjoy his burnout. And we'll just quickly look at our finishing order for tonight's race. It's Dyson taking victory ahead of Jason Martin, Barry Neal, Shane Bowen, Stevie Dubb, Ruben Phelps, Maddie Ray, Joshua Carroll-Bolden, Alexander Sheridan, Brad Fenley, rounding out our top 10. Matty Hunter comes home 11th, Dave Douglas 12th, 13th for Ryan Jones, Wellman in 14th, and Adam Ariel out early, unfortunately, in 15th position.
For sale, one slightly used set of Goodyear tyres.
I'm sure the diff will be fine after this.
Oh, and there it goes. Kaboom.
One slightly used engine, very much used to its fullest tonight.
Well, mate, that's a wrap for the Thunder Series. Definitely looking forward to our week off next week, and then we're back the following week with the Cup cars at Daytona. So definitely going to be interesting to see who takes form over to those beasts.
Absolutely, a very different challenge coming up next time out. Of course, we are off next week, so we do have a brief respite between the races, which I'm sure we are all very thankful about, especially us that are needing to get a little bit of dentistry.
Yes. We're just waiting on Barry to jump in into the green room, and then we'll start with some interviews.
But another very full race tonight, and another full-on race with plenty of action on track. We were treated once again to some fantastic spectacle out here.
Yeah, it definitely has been. It's continued now from the trucks over to the X-Finity, and now, as I said, it'd be interesting to see who carries form across into the Cup cars. So we have all the drivers now, so we might interrupt them and pull the pilot of the 22 Toyota up into the booth, and a hard-fought battle for third place, not only in the race tonight, but also in the championship. Welcome to the booth, Barry.
Yeah, hi, thanks. Yes, and I was a bit hard-fought. And Jason's just too good for me. and so's Andrew, and that man, that first stint of his was awesome. I don't know how he did that.
Yeah, it's
he just ran away and hid. The other two
oh,
stints, the other two stints were all right, apart from the fact that I lost about 3 seconds in the pits in my second pit stop. The second two stints I was all right, but that first stint he just ran away and hid. It was just awesome.
yeah, it just seemed like he had a bottle of nitro in that car on that start, because he definitely took the lead and then wasn't heard or seen of again.
No, yeah, it was good. It was. Yep, got to hand it to him. He certainly knows how to drive a booming car.
Yeah, definitely right, mate. But again, a little bit more about you. A great season. Unfortunately, just through the season, you got mixed up with some other people's misery, and that brought misery to you. Otherwise, I think it would have been probably a great battle for yourself and Dyson and Martin for the championship, where unfortunately, as I said, both you and Martin just got mixed up with some other people's mistakes through the year.
Yeah, no, you can, it's always shoulda, coulda, woulda, but didn't. So, so it's all about just trying to limit those mistakes. That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, the good guys, the really good guys, just limit the mistakes so that on a bad day they still score really well, and don't finish last or whatever. And the stuff like that just kills you when you're trying to compete against, let alone trying to beat Andrew, but and Jason. But you just if you're finishing last because you've made a mistake or you got caught up in something, then you can't buddy expect to win. So you gotta like all of these things, you got to look at every time you get involved in something and work out how you could have avoided it, and hopefully the next time not make that silly mistake, or not put yourself in that position where you get caught up and stuff. So it's all and normally the best place to be is out in front, and then you often don't get caught up and stuff. So that's you got to be fast, got to qualify well, you got to get out in front, and then stuff becomes easy.
Yeah, 100% right, Barry. Look, just your stats this year: 12 races, 12 race starts, a race win, and 11 top 10 finishes with 9 top 5 finishes. So not a bad season to walk away from.
No, it's been good. I've really enjoyed the season, and I've the cars and the track and that has been really good, and learning the X-Finity car and stuff, and especially good there's no super speedways in that season, which is always a good start, I reckon. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed the variety of tracks, and with all of these things, if things had gone differently, may well have had a couple of wins, but I didn't.
Yeah, definitely. Well, mate, week off next week, then we're heading to Daytona in the Cup cars. I know you're not a real fan of the Cup car. Are we going to see you out there for the first round of the Cup cars at Daytona?
I know. I like the Cup car actually. I haven't driven one for a while. Last season in ANZCAR I didn't really enjoy it because of the half open setup stuff, which I don't like. I don't like open setups. So I didn't enjoy that last year. So I'm looking forward to this season. I probably won't run the first race. I just really don't like women super speedways. I don't see the point. They're just a cluster. You run around for however many laps, women trying to keep out of danger, and then it's mayhem at the end. I just don't enjoy it. So
fair enough. Well, mate, before we let you go, shout out to sponsors and supporters.
Yep, thanks to Alta Racing, Tony Richards Toyotas. Because we've got to put a Toyota on the women on the podium sometimes. MRX Race Sims, you guys for ANZCAR for putting it on, and congratulations to Andrew for winning.
No worries, mate. Well, thank you again, and congratulations on the race win. And race win.
Third
place for the race, and third place in the championship for the X-Finities.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. Bye.
Right. Oh, next person we will pull up is none other than the pilot of the 21 purple machine, Mr. Jason Martin. Welcome to the booth, mate, and congratulations on both second in the race tonight and second in the championship.
Cheers, Mark. Did I finish second overall, did I?
You most certainly did, mate. By my calculations, it's by 1 point.
Whoa. I had no idea what the points were going into it. I was just hoping for a good result.
Well, mate, you definitely got that. Again, we seen you in that early in the race, drop back down the field and then come back through. But both Carl and I were a little bit worried about your fuel in that last stint.
No, my fuel was fine. I think I could have got 42 or so laps on a tank, so fuel wasn't an issue. I was just real worried about the tyres.
Yeah, well, the tyres seemed to be okay. You didn't seem to be slipping around as much as some of the other guys around you.
Yeah, unfortunately, it took me too long to realise that. I thought tyre wear was going to be a big issue, but it seems like it was just tyre heat that was the issue, so I probably could have gone harder and maybe stuck a bit closer to Daiso and just managed the tyre heat.
Yeah, Barry was saying that on that race start. I'm going to have to ask him the question whether he had a little blue bottle sitting next to him.
Yeah, I don't know. Just got that strategy all wrong, I did. So I should have pushed harder like them.
Yeah, well, mate, a great season. 12 races, two race wins, 9 top fives and 11 top tens. So not a bad season at the end of it.
Yeah, definitely happy with that. So yeah, can't complain.
Yeah, definitely right. Mate, we've got next week off, then into the Cup cars at Daytona. Are we going to see you out and running the Cup cars this season?
Very unlikely. I still can't stand that car.
That's fair enough, mate. That's fair enough. Well, mate, before we let you go, shout out to our sponsors and supporters.
Yeah, just all the boys at Mitch Motorsports, our sponsor, Leppy Motorsports Concepts, you guys for the broadcast. Wouldn't be the same without you guys doing this. And yeah, Andrew for taking out the championship win.
No worries, mate. Well, again, congratulations on second place in the race tonight at Martinsville, Michigan, and a big congratulations on second place in the X-Finity Car Championship.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. Well, Carl, one very happy driver and one surprise driver that he made second.
Yeah, absolutely, and a fantastic season for Martin this year. But the next driver is the driver that absolutely did the top of the season.
Most certainly, it does stand on top of the season. So with tonight's race win, that makes 8 race wins for him this year. Excuse me, 11 top fives and 11 top 10s, and of course that's none other than the pilot of the 41 Chevrolet, Andrew Dyson. Welcome to the booth, mate, and congratulations both on the race win and the championship win.
Thanks, boys. It was a pretty good and consistent season, except for Miami, where I completely dropped the ball, but other than that, pretty happy with things. So good racing all around with everyone too, so it was good.
Yeah, mate, got to ask you, that race start tonight, did you have a little blue bottle sitting next to you for some reason? because you absolutely just took off.
You're talking about the drink or the juice or the gas?
The gas.
Maybe a bit of both. I don't know. Nice energy drink. Shout out.
Mate, that was a great race start. You got out to nearly a 5-second gap, and it wasn't until the first start time that you guys come down for service that anyone really got close to you.
Yeah, it was a weird one. I just sort of started going 2 laps in. I had a bit of a 1.5 second gap, and I thought this is a bit weird. I didn't think I was overdriving it or anything, and just decided I'd keep going with it just to see what would happen. And I kind of more thought that everyone must have been saving it. Certainly Jason was. He saved it and came back at me towards the end of that stint, as we saw. Like, we all pitted around 35, 34 or so, and he was back to within 2 seconds after being a fair bit back and in the pack as well. So he came way back and got back to me again, and it was weird. I didn't expect to stay out front. I was actually thinking I'll pit really early because I was going to fry my stuff up. But we kind of got to lap 30, and I just said to the boys just now, I got to lap 30, and I thought I'll keep going, just see what happens. And Jason kept catching, but nobody else did, so I just kept going with it.
Yeah, Jason said that he misread it. It was more so not tyre wear, but tyre heat getting in those tyres. And he said it took him a little bit too long to realise that. Otherwise, he probably would have pushed a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I actually didn't know that either. I just was driving it how I thought was best to drive it from off the start. So, yeah, maybe I sort of stumbled upon what was the right thing to do. But definitely, as the run goes along, and you do start to get the car sliding around a lot more. Or the car stays in after 10 laps or so. You start to get a feel of what it wants and what it needs. And I definitely found that it was a matter of balancing I suppose the heat front and rear to keep a good balance in the car at the right times around the corners.
Yeah, definitely right. Well, mate, again, as I said, a great season. Some great stats there. 8 wins from 12 starts. And I know that you are a great driver, and it shows from tonight. We've got a week off now before we head over to the Cup cars and head to Daytona. Your thoughts on the upcoming Cup season?
Well, pretty wild that we start at Daytona. I didn't actually think about that. So, yeah, we'll get stuck in there and see how we go. But there'll be a lot of bumping and pushing, and hopefully no blowing up motors. But yeah, looking forward to that. It should be cool.
Yeah, definitely. Well, mate, before we let you go and close out the season, shout out to your sponsors and supporters.
Man, I think my biggest supporters are all the boys at DPR Racing, to be honest, and even when they're having a bad night, they're still there having a good chat and just talking about what's going on with their car and tyres and whatever. So it's good to have them around and keeps us motivated to keep coming out and having some racing. So thanks to those boys, and thanks to everyone at ANZCAR that put it on, because without it, it's not here, and without all the drivers, it doesn't continue. So thanks to all those other drivers who keep coming out and having a race with us every week.
Yeah, definitely spot on. Well, mate, again, before we say goodbye for this season, congratulations on the race win and the championship.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the next season.
No worries, mate. Thanks for your time tonight.
Cheers.
Oh, there you have it, Mr. Whitty. Some a great anticipation for the Cup series, and some great racing that we've seen so far. Again, through the trucks and through the X-Finity series.
Absolutely. We hope you can join us for the upcoming Cup series here, Performance East Room. We'll be back in about 2 weeks' time. A big thank you tonight for Mr. Mark Johansson joining us here tonight and keeping his company up here in the box. And of course, for myself, Carl Wilkinson, with a big thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. And we will see you again when we head to Daytona for the Cup series. Good night, all.